Alright, quick question. What if I told you Wall Street isn't what you think it is? Well, in the next 60 seconds, I am gonna blow your mind with 6 shocking revelations about the world's most powerful financial system. And by the end of this video, you're either gonna be extremely angry or completely speechless. Let's go. Revelation No. 1. Hidden trillions. Every year, Wall Streeters make so much money, they literally make headlines. Just last month, JP Morgan made over $1 trillion in less than a year, but here's the crazy part. That was just the tip of the iceberg, because every single day an estimated $3 to $4 trillion flows through Wall Street markets, which is nearly double the entire GDP of the United States. So all those wild hand movements you see on the trading floor, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Because when it comes to Wall Street, there's a lot more going on behind closed doors. Speaking of which, revelation number 2, the algorithm war. Trading isn't just some exciting job where people yell and make tons of money. It's actually a ruthless war between supercomputers who fight over fractions of a second. These bad boys can execute trades in microseconds, which means real human traders don't stand a chance. By the time a human trader makes a decision, the algorithms are already 3 steps ahead and have executed their trades. This gives them an unfair advantage because it's literally impossible for humans to compete with these machines. So if you ever thought being a Wall Street trader was all about making split-second decisions, think again. And now for revelation number 3, insider secrets. When you and I buy stocks, we do it on public exchanges where millions of other investors are also buying and selling. But here's the thing, big Wall Street players can bypass these exchanges and strike deals directly with one another. You might be wondering why they do this, and the answer is simple. It's all about the money. Because whenever they trade with each other, they can set the price themselves instead of relying on market forces to dictate it for them. This means they can buy low and sell high without having to worry about the stock fluctuating in price. In fact, a recent investigation found that this type of trading is responsible for half of all profits on Wall Street. So if you ever wondered how some investors always seem to know when a stock is about to go up or down, it might not be luck. It could be insider information. And speaking of getting lucky, revelation No. 4, market manipulation. From pump and dump schemes to spoofing, Wall Streeters use some seriously dirty tactics to manipulate the market and cash in on unsuspecting investors like you and me. A prime example is GameStop, which was targeted by Wall Street firms that spread false rumors about the company's future prospects. This drove up the stock price and allowed them to sell their shares for a tidy profit, leaving many retail investors out of pocket. But hey, who needs due diligence when you've got Wall Street on your side, right? And before we reveal who really pulls the strings on Wall Street, it's time for revelation No. 5, crashes aren't accidents. Remember the 2008 financial crash? Well, turns out some Wall Streeters saw it coming. In fact, a Goldman Sachs executive was quoted saying, "Our U.S. economists estimate the probability of recession to be close to 50%. Yet, despite knowing the risks, banks like Goldman Sachs continued to invest in subprime mortgages, leading to the downfall of the entire market. And when the crash finally hit, these same banks were bailed out by taxpayers, leaving many to wonder whether the crash was just an unfortunate accident or something more sinister." Now it's time for the final revelation, but first, I need you to do me a favor. If you've enjoyed this roller coaster ride through the world of finance, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Now back to the show. And finally, revelation No. 6, who really pulls the strings. If you thought Wall Street was all about individual investors and hedge funds battling it out in the market, think again. Because the truth is a handful of firms and families control most of the power on Wall Street. Take BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, for example. These companies own most of the major banks and financial institutions, and they even have seats on the boards of major corporations. But they're not just some faceless corporations. Some families also wield enormous influence over Wall Street, including the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. These families have built their wealth through shady dealings and have managed to stay in power by controlling the media and the government. So if you ever wondered who's really pulling the strings on Wall Street, the answer is both. But before we wrap things up, here's one last twist. Wall Street can profit even when the economy is in a recession. Yeah, you heard that right. During tough times, investors flock to safe assets like government bonds, pushing their prices up and yields down. And who benefits from this? You guessed it, Wall Street firms. They can borrow money at near-zero interest rates and invest in risk-free government bonds, earning a tidy profit no matter what the economy is doing. So if you thought Wall Street was just a bunch of geniuses who make money through clever investing, think again. They say knowledge is power, but in the case of Wall Street, it's clear that knowledge is money. Now it's time to hear from you. What shocked you the most about Wall Street? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if this left you speechless, just wait for what's next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.